Hey, this message is directly for Diamond Girl, and this message is also for everyone else that this message sort of just speaks to. Um, I'm trying to figure out how to work my phone, and I don't know. I got a message on my video that says, "Scared, watch this." And I remember that moment when I first found out that I had fibroids. I remember the moment when I first found myself in the emergency room with a defibrillator hooked to my chest. I remembered each of my 4 surgeries. I also remembered the victory when I left the hospital. I remember the week after and the overwhelming peace that I had, that I was finally healed and that they were gone. And no matter what anybody said, I believed that they were gone. I didn't just get rid of my fibroids. I got rid of the thing that was holding me back. Then I got rid of the fibroids. And then I got aligned in my spirit. And 6 months later, I went back and the doctor said, there's a possibility they may have grown back. I said, no, they did not. No, they didn't. You said you got them. And they checked. No fibroids. I continue to keep working on myself. Mind, body, and my soul simultaneously. And I just believed without a shadow of a doubt that I was healed. And I was healing, and I was getting stronger and stronger every day, and that I was going to live my purpose. And I'll tell you what, at my year appointment, my doctor said, they gone? I said, you know it. A year later, my fibroids had not grown back. And this is my 17th month past my 17 tumors being removed from my body, and a 9-month hemorrhage. Now, a lot of you may not know that part, but I didn't know I had 17 tumors. I went into the hospital one August early morning, and it was that day forward that led to the events when I had my final 4th surgery, and I realized that after the surgery that I had 17. And so had it not been for the hemorrhage, I would have never gone into the hospital in the first place. I couldn't have kept my fibroids, even if I wanted to, because my hemorrhage wouldn't stop. I would have just perished from blood loss. So my fibroids got served out of there. And so when you talk about fear, Diamond Girl, I have been on death's bed. And I just wanted to speak this to you directly and to anyone else who is listening. I'm not opposed to any method that a person chooses to use for their health care. I just want to make it clear that I had no choice. Surgery in my situation was unavoidable. I actually had a hemorrhage. And the hemorrhage drove the surgery. And the surgery ultimately removed the fibroids, which were 17. I had to write it down because I didn't want to miss anything. So Diamond Girl, I hope you don't mind if I use you right now just for a little while as an example, because it has taken great courage for you to come on a platform and ask for help. But as always, it is great faith that you have, because you already have your surgery scheduled for next week, Friday. And if any of you want to follow along, it's a comment that one of our sisters posted on Afraid, Watch This. And you can see her comment. So you're scheduled for a surgery. That means that you want to overcome this thing. You want this out. And for you to schedule surgery and then wonder about your high blood pressure, and also wondering about, what if I don't wake back up again? That entire statement is what I call faith, work, and courage, and seeking wisdom and insight. The entire conundrum. So I'm going to break this case down for you, and let me put my glasses on, y'all, and bear with me. I'm just really touch me deep, and I just want to make sure I don't leave anything out, and really help you all see how to make a decision when you're finding yourself faced with this. And for those of you, this is your first time watching, I am a registered nurse, as well as a survivor of a massive hemorrhage and an overcomer of uterine fibroids. And I am 17 months past an open myomectomy that I had. And so I'm going to share with you guys her comment, and I'm also going to just break this down for you. All right. So my key here, and you might need to watch this a few times. I don't have the blackboard. I just had to type this you know. So the key is to be equipped with the knowledge to let go of fear and make the best decision you can in peace. All right. So I'm going to break down this comment down to show you the process you can use to make your best decision. Because ultimately, anything that happens to our body, we are in control. Your comment was this. You said, I am scheduled for you're scheduled for surgery next Friday. I'm so scared and freaking out, thinking, what if I don't wake up? I have high blood pressure, and I'm scared for that as well. As you can see, that's three things going on here. And I'm a drawer. So let me show you. There's your mind, your body, and your soul. Can y'all see that? That don't look good. Now, y'all, this is in real time right here. And when it comes to fear, sometimes you just need somebody to talk to you. Okay? I know this is YouTube, but this is for real. Mind, body, and soul. Let me show you something. Now, her surgery is next Friday, and I'm going to break this case down so you guys can see how to separate everything that you have into this category and to give our sister some comfort so that she can make her best decision in peace. And I'm going to share with you why that is so important. Because if you don't have peace, sometimes the biggest thing is not the results. The biggest thing is the actions that you take. You might be so racked with fear that you don't even take any action whatsoever. And that's not what we were created to do. I've seen grass be more ambitious to get back up than some people. Because see, grass knows you cut it down, it's going to grow back. Now this is just, I hope y'all can understand this. Okay? Pay attention. I know YouTube have really nice videos now, and people are really fancy, and I think that's really nice. And eventually I'll get there, I suppose. But if you can bear with me to get this set up like I'm trying to get it set up, because see, this comes to me in the moment. I don't know who's watching, but this is how it comes to me. So if this is really for you, you're not going anywhere. I'm just writing out her comment so I can show you how to break down this sentence so you can see how to find the empowerment that you need for each thing you're going through so that you can make the best decisions, so you can be empowered. We're about to knock this fair thing here out. It's going to be an ongoing process, but we're going to get it, ladies. We're going to do it. We survivors. Mind, body, and soul. All right, so here we go. I'm going to hold them up. This is her comment. Now, I'm not going to leave it up here, so you can go and click on the video, Scared Watch This, Diamond Girl, look at her comment, get the full comment, but it says surgery next Friday. I need you to write under mine on your paper, next Friday. Okay. Am so scared. What if I don't wake up? I need you to write scared, under soul, and scared, under mind, and I need you to write wake up under mind, And I need you to write, wake up, under soul. I need you to write high blood pressure, under body. And I need you to write surgery, under body. And I need you to write surgery under mind. All right, and I'll hold this up so you can get this. Mine, we have next Friday, scared, wake up, surgery, under soul, scared, wake up, body, high blood pressure, in surgery. Like that. This will help you follow along as I read it. Is this backwards? I hope it's not. All right, so here I go. All right, I'm gonna break this down for you so we can be in control. So with your comment, my surgery is next Friday. Take notes. You still have time to ask your healthcare providers all the questions and concerns about your blood pressure and the plans and methods that they have prepared for your procedure to handle any complications if they arise due to your blood pressure and your personal concerns and assurance. Now, just because they're doctors, it's still your body. They may have never been asked by anyone to be this detailed, but you will take courage and do it for your safety first, and then peace. You are in partnership with your doctor. You are the doctor of your body. Okay, so knowing that your surgery is next Friday, rest assured, let your fear go completely. Because right now, you are still in an empowered position. You are in a complete empowered position. I just need you to gather your mind and bring all of your attention to this moment right here and recognize that you are completely empowered. Completely empowered. I don't care how scary it might seem. You are completely in control right now. Your surgery is next Friday. And that means you still have time. And that is time to ask these questions that you have about your blood pressure. And you need to ask them, how do they manage that? What happens if a complication arises? Do complications normally arise because of high blood pressure? And what do they plan to do for you? Not what we usually or generally tell them. I need to know my plan for surgery. And I know you can do it because you've already taken courage to schedule it and then to reach out and ask for help. So you got it in you. Now the part that says, am so scared and freaking out. Now this feeling you have, that's very real. It's just very real. And the thing with our feelings is we have to make sure that we have to, with every feeling that we have, and it's real, we decide if it's real because there's this word that says, is it sound? Are your feelings sound? That means does it stick, or is it just your feelings? Now, feelings are real, but if the feeling should be used to weigh our decisions is the most important thing. Yes, your feelings are real to you, and I know what it is to be afraid. I'm hoping I'm making sense. And that concerns me now. But should that cause me to stop talking? No. Because when someone needs help, you just sort of have to work through it. You don't let your feelings take control of the situation. You don't judge your feelings. You just let them be. And so, am so scared and freaking out. This feeling you have is very real. And with many feelings, we must rule out if they are sound. If the feeling should be used to weigh our decisions. All right. And I'm going to be honest, I am a believer of Jesus Christ. And I must say, when we start talking about the realm of scared and being fearful and questions about, am I going to wake up or not wake up? No doctor can really answer that question for you. No nurse can really answer that question for you. That's a question that deals with the soul realm. And so I'm happy that you had the courage and took courage to ask your question, because I'm definitely going to answer that for you. So when I have a feeling of fear, and I share that I was a believer of Jesus Christ because that is where I get my, it's where I get my foundation to deal with feelings, especially fear. And if you have Bible, I'd like you to take a look at 2 Timothy, the 1st chapter, 7th verse. And this is the New International Version. And it says, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. If we find ourselves fearful, from this one verse in 2 Timothy 1 through 7, we can ask ourselves, have we made power moves to fight back this timidity? Have we made love moves to help us fight back from this timidity and fearfulness? And have we exercised self-discipline that can help us fight back our fears? And quickly, I am going to just read these sections, and I want you to take notes. So that you can be empowered to make the best decision. And more than anything, I pray that you'll be able to let go of fear. So take notes. All right. A is power, okay? This is your power. What's in your power in this situation on your body? What questions can you ask? What questions do you still need to ask? Do you need any second opinions? Are you needing to ask other healthcare professionals and getting any counsel? I need you to just really have courage and ask your healthcare providers every single question and concern about your blood pressure and the plans and methods that they have prepared for your procedure, as we mentioned earlier, and how they're going to handle any complications if they arise due to your blood pressure and your personal concern. This is for your assurance. Let me just tell you briefly about this. I'm being matter of fact, and I'm also being very inspirational, but I'm trying to just take my time to make sure that I'm very clear, because I want you to know right now, I'm sure you're just a little like, I'm not feeling better yet, but I'm going to tell you, you don't get rid of fear on the front end. You have to get rid of fear by going through a process. And eventually it just lifts off of you, because then there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. You see what I'm saying? People often say fear is false evidence appearing real. So I'm trying to show you from the specifics of going into a surgery for fibroids, and especially things that deal with our womb. This is a way to help you alleviate concerns that deal directly with fear. So the second thing is love. So in this case, this is very important. And don't overlook this. No one overlook this, okay? I need you to ask your doctor, how comfortable do they feel in performing this particular surgery or procedure? And would they personally perform this particular surgery or procedure on themselves with their hands? How comfortable do they feel doing this surgery? And would they personally perform this surgery on themselves with their own hands? Now, why would I say that? Well, from my belief and my faith, we are called by God to love our neighbors as ourselves. So, and that's can be found in 1 Corinthians 13:13. So how you love yourself is how you're going to love somebody else. How you treat and take care of yourself are good signs about how you're going to treat and take care of someone else. So if this doctor can answer that question for you, this is what I need you to pay attention to. See with your eyes and hear with your ears. If they say they are comfortable, okay, so I need you to go in person. I don't know how possible you can get to a doctor office, or you need to call and they need to Zoom, Skype, FaceTime you, and you need to see their face. Because being afraid that you might not wake up is pretty powerful. And you going into surgery in peace actually is already you having the victory over it. And so I need you to see with your eyes and hear with your ear if they say they are comfortable and would actually perform this surgery on themselves using their own hands. Any healthcare professional should have confidence in their practice, not arrogantly or selfishly practice on others ever. Confidence does not mean free from all error and mistakes, but that healthcare professional is proclaiming confidence, yet humble about their abilities, and a willingness to create and show you your plans and methods to treating your body. That means they take great care to avoid negligence, which is failure to take proper care in doing something. This would assure and ensure to you that you have done your best within your power to make the best decision and the ability to make it with courage and peace. There's something key I want you to highlight. When I say that your healthcare professional should have confidence, confidence does not mean free from all error and mistake, but that healthcare professional is proclaiming confidence, yet they are humble about their abilities, and a willingness to create and show you your plans and your methods to treating your body. That means they don't have anything to hide, and they're sure that they're taking all the necessary steps and precautions within their professional abilities. They're not having this conversation for them. They're having this conversation with you for you. And if they're willing to do that for you, that means that they take great care to avoid negligence. And if you don't know, negligence is the failure to take proper care in doing something. If they can tell you that, that helps you to be able to make your decisions in courage and peace. And then finally, self-discipline. And this is all coming from, if you just sort of like kind of tuning in here, this is coming from a question that was asked by a young lady, and we're coming from 2 Timothy 1:7. Self-discipline. Whew. Now, my really great friend and life coach, Yolande Robinson at Learn and Lead, she often shares this with me. Success is when you do the work and let it go. So this statement allows us to do our very best, to do our part, and then release the results to be what they will be. This self-discipline in approaching everything we do to the highest level in everything allows us to make a decision that we can make in peace. I once heard a minister where I was visiting for church one time. He said, when you have to make a decision that involves factors of like, your soul or your mind or your body, really anything, but the fact that he was a minister, this is definitely driving to a full, complete person, mind, body, and soul. He gave a few things. In essence, he said that we are to just continue to keep seeking counsel, which you're doing, get information, read scripture, and pray before we make any decision. And if we're running out of time and we must make a decision by a deadline, make the decision that you are most at peace with. And he also shared, and may I add this, please, the ability to freely do that, to make a decision that way, is because the decision is made by someone in Jesus. Now, personally, I couldn't find a more confirmation in that outside, and this is specifically for women, is Mark 5, verse 25 through 34. Now, I'd like you to turn there or please read it. And this is the key verse for this particular topic on self-discipline. And the verse is go in peace. In nursing school, medical school, I don't know, where anything has assurance to tell a person that they can go in peace. And he wasn't saying go in peace like to cross over to death. He meant go in peace. This was a woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years. And when she touched the hem of Jesus' garment, immediately her flow was stopped. He asked her a series of questions. And finally, I need you to read that. He said, "Who touched me?" And he had this conversation with this woman about what happened. And finally, at the end, he said, "Your faith has healed you. Now go in peace and heal from your afflictions." The issues of women, especially the womb, combine mental, spiritual, and body considerations. The least often part talked about is the spiritual, which generated this message from me. It's my miracle message. It was the key and longest part of the comment Diamond Girl, that you shared with us. And that part was the spiritual part. The body part was that pretty much your surgery is next Friday. Your keyword, scared, don't wake up, and blood pressure. That's pretty much a fight between fear and faith. That fight impacts your mind, your inability to make a decision in peace. This comment, am so scared, am freaking out, thinking, what if I don't wake up? I have high blood pressure, and I'm scared for that as well. That's what generated this spiritual section. Now, I've shared with you the medical insight for peace and the work that you must do, your part, and you already have faith by evidence that you already have a surgery that's been set up for next week, Friday. So, I hope you're following and getting where I'm saying. And so as I wrap up here, I'd like you to know this last component of spirituality is very important. Sorry. I'm sorry, I was going over my notes. I think the struggle that I'm having right now in getting these notes out is something that really needs to be corrected in our healthcare system. And I am pushing past the different layers in my mind that want to stay one side or the other. But because this story is pulling and calling on me and calling on my spirit, because it is my miracle, I just sort of have to break free and just keep it to you real. This is not propaganda. This is not me trying to get someone to believe in something that they don't want to believe in. This is also not me telling anyone that they're not going to be able to have a safe and successful surgery without believing in Jesus Christ. But I will tell you this. You can find the best doctor in the world. But to be able to go under, if you are afraid that you might not get back up again, no doctor and no man can assure that to you. That is something that comes from Jesus, who connects us to our God, who is in control of all things. There's no other reason that one would need to be afraid of not waking up if one did not know that either way you had the victory, and that is something that you need not even be afraid of. I realized today I was talking to someone on the phone. God said, I'm a healer. He didn't say anything else other than I'm a healer. And that's all we know. That's all we know. For me or anyone to tell you the results would mean we would have to know your future. You would have to know your own future. And because you don't, and because I never do, I'm often afraid. We're all often afraid. Because that's a realm that's outside of us. We don't know the results. We don't have anything to do with the results. All we know is that Jesus is a healer. He did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. He will never leave us or forsake us, and that we have victory in Jesus. And there is a biblical story that is directly identifying with a woman who had suffered many things by a physician, and a woman who touched the hem of Jesus' garment. And that in itself led to her healing and wholeness because of her faith. God alone can do it. I don't want to frighten anyone, but I also don't want to sit here and give you any medical advice that could make you think, or anyone think, that this surgery is the end all or do all, or not having a surgery. We have to take courage, we have to have faith, and we have to have peace through the whole thing. The whole thing. And so evidence is very important. And I knew I got a comment from a young lady that I know whose I am. Thank you for putting pressure on me, and for you, Diamond Girl, as well, on my calling. And you both ought to know, this is a sidebar, that diamonds are created from heat and pressure. So we are all crystallizing, ladies. So thank you both. And that was to see my scar. And I just had so many amazing things happen in my life in this past 17 months of my surgery that I've not even had time to just load all of the videos that I've wanted to, because God has been just so good to me. I didn't even know I was that tired. I didn't know that I had given up on my dreams. I didn't know that life could be better than what it was. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I didn't know. And so when I hear this concern, what if I don't wake up? What if you wake up to the best life you've ever had? What if you finally get to wake up to who you always knew you could be and should be and wanted to be and were created to be? Is even more of a thing. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I'm going to show you my scar, and I am going to put a link for my scar, and I have a picture of my actual uterus as it was being open, and I have a picture of it being closed up. And I'm going to put that in a separate link because I don't want anyone who's watching to, get nervous. And if you want to look at it, please do. It'll be at the bottom of this link. And this is my opportunity to sort of give you a viewer discretion for those who are watching and may not, want to see it or are not ready to see it. But I'll be honest with you. I've not had a more wonderful time than looking at this scar. For me, it's just evidence of, wow, the human body can do so much. But the key is to have a strong spirit. If you have a strong spirit, your body can heal from anything. But if your spirit is broken, the body is just going to go down. I mean, it's just like your car can stay in the yard all day long. If it don't have no driver, it's not going anywhere. So it's you that has to take courage. And I just want you to know that a few key verses that I hold on to are Hebrews 11:6. And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Your faith has come before God, Diamond Girl, because of your tremendous fear, but also your faith is the only force great enough to overcome fear. If this message resonates with you, it only resonates, Diamond Girl, because you took courage to ask in such a great cloud of witness, and the faith you've shown in the work you've done. That's peace. Because that's what you're really asking for, is peace. Peace to be able to fall into a deep sleep and rise up alive again. Sounds like the very thing God promises us through Jesus. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That's in the book of John. And that's John 3:16. Everlasting life. Everlasting is for eternity. And the word eternity is infinite. That is unending time. That doesn't mean after death. That meant before you even knew you was in your mother's womb. All right now. Just time. Forever. All the way, front, forward, backwards. You ain't going nowhere. Endless. And that's the security that we get in God. Through his only begotten Son. That whoever believes in him should not perish. Should not perish. But have everlasting life. So your comment, what if I don't wake up? That is not a medical team question. And no one there could answer that question for you. And it definitely has reached the ear of God. Because it got me going here. And let me just make this disclaimer again. I'm not talking like a simple prayer that the hospital clergy could give you of hope. I mean, it is you taking personal responsibility for your soul component of the mind, body, soul equation. And that is a responsibility of life that you've been given, and we all must take it. And also, let me assure everyone, from the perspective of one who has experienced this surgery 4 times in 2 years, the 4th being my victory, and from the perspective of a registered nurse, BSN, and a believer of Jesus, I feel I do have some insight to talk on all 3 areas. You must, and you should, and you can get health care from healthcare professionals. I am a healthcare professional. And we are definitely trained to do our best job. I had an amazing doctor. An amazing doctor. An amazingly professionally trained doctor. We are trained to do our best. We have evidence-based research, new technology. It's what we do, myself included. So I can't ever put healthcare in a box and say, don't go to the hospital and get treated. I am a nurse. I'm just telling you, there are responsibilities that we as individuals have to take. And I would have never been able to speak from this perspective had I not been a patient and also a healthcare professional at the same time and suffered the way that I did for so long. When I had gotten to a point that I didn't even know how to help myself anymore, the doctors gave up on me, and I had no choice but to rely on the power of God through Jesus Christ and my soul. I had gotten to a place where I had no other options. None. And I feel I was allowed to go through that so that many of you who are watching don't have to. Sometimes when you go through things and they're really extreme, that's because you have a message that you're supposed to give to other people so that they can catch these things before it gets there, because you know what the worst is. I know what the worst is. 4 surgeries. You had a God domain question, you know. And God, he is just too beyond professional to make a mistake. He's beyond professional. And not only does he care about your life now, he always has, and he always will. And doctors can correct you physically. They can correct your physical ailments. But complete healing that gives you full assurance of life here on earth after any procedure and in eternity. True freedom of peace can only be found in God, evidenced by this was the only faith I had on board when I was on my deathbed. August 2017, with a heart defibrillator linked on my chest, ready to deliver a shock. When my heart gave out, I was there. And the only thing they gave me that morning, because they didn't know what to do, was a blood transfusion and saline water. But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear and immediately came out blood and water. But it just so happened that I had come to the emergency because my blood pressure was too low. 79/43. I had lost half of the blood that my body had needed. I was on my deathbed kissing death. But I had many thoughts, heavy thoughts, my family. But the biggest thought that I had was, what about my dreams that I had hoped for, that now standing at the border of death? This is a question that I asked myself. If it all boils down to this moment for everyone, what was I so afraid of? And why was I so afraid to do my dreams? I wished in that moment that I had not lived in fear and to have had the courage to do it. But while I was wrestling with my thoughts of guilt, the results we get when we let fear lead us, and fear leading us causes compromise. What came over me next was truly unexplainable to reason. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and mind through Jesus Christ. That comes from a book in Philippians. And it's the 4th chapter and the 7th verse. Though my body was in danger, I found that I felt no pain, and my heart and mind were able to rest, to be in peace. I literally rolled over on my right side and went to sleep. And let me tell you something, I am still here. I got up. I got up. I got up. I got up. I am still up. 4 times I got up, and I'm still up. We rise. We rise. We rise. So this is my final advice to you. I would like for you to make sure that you are fully equipped on all levels of the matters of your mind, asking all the questions still to the doctor that you need to ask, questions about the body, how they plan on dealing with you in your particular situation, if there is any issues that arise, and even how they're going to manage pain and healing afterwards. All of that's important. And most of all, what if you don't wake up, falls off? When you put your anchor, in the hand of God. And in this case, Diamond Girl, being that your surgery is also scheduled, I have a video that you can watch as well if you haven't already that can help you more with your mind empowerment. And that one is the malpractice video. And that pretty much offers advice and empowerment. I'm not looking to accuse or hurt anyone or set anyone up. I just want you to know that you've made the best decision that you can mentally and for your body and for your soul, that you can move forward with whatever decision that you want to move forward with in peace, even if it is to not have surgery. Ladies, we need to still be able to make that decision from our mind soundly, make that decision from our body soundly, and also make that decision from our soul soundly. Because if you are not sure that what you're doing is actually helping you, then you could be putting yourself in more harm's way by not trying to ask those tough questions that you need to ask, and seeking the help that you need to, and praying about it, and asking the God of this whole world that gave you life, how is it that you want me to handle it? And if you don't have a relationship with him, I would consider doing that if that is something that you seek to do. And if you'd like more information about it, you'd like more information about Jesus Christ and his healing blood that he shed for us to connect us back to God, the creator of this world, please leave me a message, and let's talk about this and have a dialogue and conversation, because truly everything that you all have seen or heard in all of these videos, he is at the center of me. I once heard that the ability for even a hurricane to be that destructive and forceful, it requires a center of peace, the eye of the storm, which is the most calm. So I just want to make sure, do you have the clarity that you actually need to make this decision that you need to make in peace? And if you'd like to, ask me any questions about anything that I've shared, or need me to clarify anything, please, ladies, I'm not here to create this video to entertain you. I am just sitting in my office in the evening, and I worked out some research, and this is what I came up with. So I'd like to have this conversation with you, ladies, and dialogue with you. So send me your messages. Anything you need me to go back over. I just want you to know that we have a voice. Always have and always will. Now we need to learn, ladies, how to put that voice into use for us so that we can live the life that we were sent here to live. Okay? Diamond Girl, I am proud of you. And sister, when you answer all those questions with a check mark for you or an X, you will know the best decisions that you need to make. If that decision is to continue and go forward with your surgery, sister, go into your surgery in peace. If you are thinking you might want to wait on this surgery or do a little bit more research, sister, wait in peace. If you choose to do nothing at all, make sure that you are doing nothing at all in peace. If at peace is not at the end of any decision that you make, there is still some more work that you need to do. You cannot just say and have faith saying, I know it's going to get well, and you are not at peace. Peace will be your assurance that your faith is sure. and to take courage that in the face of fear, push past it and move. Take actions, ask questions, seek, knock, and ask. All right. I'm going to be standing by for any of your comments. All right.